Have you ever tried to manage a cloud setup and it just spirals into this tangled mess? We've all been there. Well, today, we're going to lay out the blueprint for a super clean, organized Google Cloud environment. Let's jump right in. So, to really get a handle on this, I want you to imagine you're the architect of a massive digital skyscraper. Every single choice you make, from the foundation all the way up to the individual offices, it all affects how the entire building functions. And this skyscraper? It's the perfect way to think about how Google Cloud organizes everything.
Every great building starts with a solid blueprint, right? Well, in Google Cloud, that blueprint is this really clear four-level hierarchy. And trust me, understanding this structure is absolutely critical if you want to build anything that's secure, that can grow, and that's actually easy to manage.
Let's break down this blueprint, starting from the very top. First, you've got the organization. That's the entire skyscraper. Then you have folders. Think of these as the different floors in the building, grouping things by department, like, say, engineering or marketing. Now, on those floors are the projects. These are the individual offices where the real work gets done. And finally, inside each office, you have your resources. These are the desks, the computers, the tools, your virtual machines, your storage, all the stuff your teams use every day. Now, here's the real magic that makes this whole system work. It's a concept called policy inheritance. It's actually pretty simple. Any rule you set at a higher level, say at the very top, it automatically flows down and applies to everything underneath it. So a security policy for the entire building, the organization, applies to every single floor, office, and desk inside. It's a ridiculously powerful way to keep things consistent and under control.
Okay, so let's zoom in a little. We're going to focus on the most fundamental part of all this, the project. In our skyscraper analogy, these are the individual offices. This is where your teams are actually working, and it's where all your cloud services really live.
And don't think of a project as just some empty box. It's the command center for almost everything. It's at the project level where you're turning on services, managing your APIs, and, this is a big one, enabling billing. Each project gets billed and managed on its own. It's also where you control access by adding and removing people. The bottom line is, every single resource you create belongs to one and only one project.
Now, let's quickly clear something up that trips a lot of people up. Every project actually has two different identifiers. You've got the project ID, which is like the permanent physical address of that office. It's totally unique across the globe, and you can never, ever change it. Then you have the project name. Think of that as just the sign on the office door. You can change it whenever you want. So what's the key takeaway? For anything official, anything that matters, you always rely on the project ID.
All right, so we've seen the individual offices. Let's zoom back out and look at how we manage the floors and the entire building. This is where folders and that top-level organization node come into play. They give you that crucial structure and control from the top down.
The whole point of a folder is really simple, but incredibly powerful. You know how a floor in our skyscraper might have the entire finance department? Well, a folder in Google Cloud groups together all the projects for that department. This means you can apply rules and permissions to the entire department all at once, instead of messing around with every single project one by one. And here's exactly why that's such a game changer. As the source material puts it, trying to manage policies across a bunch of individual projects is, quote, tedious and error-prone. Just imagine you have to update a security rule. With folders, you change it in one spot. Done. Without them, you're changing it in dozens of places, just hoping you don't miss one. No thanks.
And then, sitting at the very, very top of everything is the organization node. This is the entire skyscraper. It's the root of the whole hierarchy, and it basically represents your company. Every folder, every project, every single resource, it all lives under this one organization. It owns the whole shebang.
Because it's so important, the organization level has some really special roles for managing the building. You've got the organization policy administrator. They get to set the rules for everyone. And then there's the project creator role, which is just fantastic for controlling costs, because you get to decide exactly who is allowed to build new offices and, who gets to spend money. So we've walked through the whole blueprint, from the foundation to the penthouse. Now let's talk about why getting this hierarchy right isn't just a nice little thing to do. It's pretty much the foundation for all of your success in the cloud. Here's the most important thing to remember. This whole four-level structure, it isn't just about being neat and tidy. It is the core engine for governance. It gives you central control, it lets you enforce consistent security through that inheritance we talked about, and it creates amazing efficiency by letting you manage everything at a huge scale.
So that's the Google Cloud hierarchy. It's the framework that lets you build incredible things in a way that's organized and secure from the get-go. The only question left is, now that you have the blueprint, how are you going to design your digital skyscraper?